Welcome back to another episode of the Athlete Scoop right here on TXT Track Time. There have been some major developments in athletics recently. First, America has decided to boycott the Beijing Olympics. Next, top-tier British sprinters are embroiled in a scandal that has led to them losing their country's funding. Also, the former IAAF president has died, and our resident sprint queen, Elaine Thompson-Herah, continues to win big. When we get back, we will unpack the details for you. And TXT Track Time family, please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to continue bringing you quality content.
Welcome back TXT Track Time fam. The United States and China are at each other's throats again. And this time, the United States has decided to boycott the Beijing Winter Olympic Games 2022 in what they described as China's human rights atrocities. An article published by Reuters says the diplomatic boycott, which leaves athletes free to travel to Beijing to compete, has been encouraged by some members of Congress and rights advocacy groups for months. Beijing threatened unspecified resolute countermeasures against any such move before Monday's announcement, which is certain to further strain relations already at their lowest point in decades. President Joe Biden's administration highlighted what Washington says is genocide against minority Muslims in China's western region of Xinjiang. U.S. diplomatic or official representation would treat these games as business as usual in the face of the People's Republic of China's egregious human rights abuses and atrocities in Xinjiang, and we simply can't do that. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told a daily press briefing referring to the People's Republic of China. "The athletes on Team USA have our full support," Psaki said. "We will be behind them 100% as we cheer them on from home." China's embassy in Washington called the boycott political manipulation as no invitations had been extended to the U.S. politicians. In fact, no one would care about whether these people come or not, and it has no impact whatsoever on the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics being successfully held. Embassy spokesman Lu Penghu said. So TXT Track Time fam, what is of note is the United States has consulted allies on a shared approach to the Beijing Games. Countries such as Canada, Australia, Japan, and New Zealand are deeply disturbed by the troubling reports of human rights violations in China. And it has now been confirmed that Australia and the UK have joined the diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Winter Games.
Well, TXT Track Time family, we fully endorse the move by these nations to boycott the Winter Olympics. It's now 2021 and China has a long history of human rights atrocities, and if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. On to news out of the UK though. It has been announced by The Guardian that Adam Jamili and Lavia Nielsen have been removed from the UK Athletics World Class program after opting to stay with their coach, Rana Reader, who is the subject of a Safe Sport US investigation after multiple complaints of sexual misconduct were made against him. It means that both sprinters, who are World Championships medalists, will no longer receive lottery funding, which can be worth up to £28,000, or medical support from the UKA while they remain with Reader in Florida. However, a third British athlete, Daryl Neater, who was coached by Reader to the Women's Olympic 100 meters final, will stay on funding after deciding to leave his tumbleweed training program. In a statement, UK Athletics said, UKA's position has not changed in that any athlete working directly with Rana Reader, given the confirmed complaints of sexual misconduct against him from the US Safe Sports, will not be able to be supported through the World Class program. Adam Jamili and Lavia Nielsen have elected to remain in Florida and accept that they will not be supported through the WCP for the time being. UKA understands the significant commitment these athletes have made to be based in Florida for the winter and that they will remain part of the training group until a further update from the US Safe Sport is provided. So TXT Track Time viewers, Rana Reda's lawyer, Ryan Stevens, said that the allegations against his client were unvetted and unproven. He told The Guardian, Safe Sport hasn't issued a notice of allegations to Rana. The suspicious timing and motives attached to these unproven attacks on Rana's reputation need to be fully investigated and vetted, and they haven't been. So TXT Track Time family, as you know, Jamaica has several athletes training with the Tumbleweed track program, including Akeem Bloomfield, Christopher Taylor, and Christania Williams. We hope that these athletes seek the advice of their agents, managers, and whoever is close to them in deciding what steps they need to take next as it relates to their careers.
Well, Tam, it seems UK athletics are not taking the innocent until proven guilty approach. With so many Jamaicans involved, we here at TXT Track Time are eagerly awaiting a resolution. However, on a more somber note, and this is coming from the Washington Post, Lamine Diack, a one-time politician in Senegal who became the powerful head of the IAAF, the international organization governing track and field, only to be convicted in a corruption scandal linked to bribes to cover up positive drug tests by athletes, died December 3rd at his home in Senegal. He was 88. Mr. Diack, who was a former member of the International Olympic Committee, led the IAAF, now called World Athletics, from 1999 to 2015. The sport flourished during those years, in part because of the popularity of Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt. Behind the scenes, however, it turned out that Mr. Diack and his son were involved in several far-reaching scandals that tainted the integrity of the sport and the IOC. At a trial last year, Mr. Diack was found guilty of devising a scheme in which 23 Russian athletes paid about $3.8 million in bribes to have their bans for doping hushed up or eliminated to allow them to compete in the 2012 Olympics in London and the 2013 World Championships in Moscow. Mr. Diack and his son were also charged with accepting $2 million in bribes from the Brazilian officials to help ensure that Rio de Janeiro would be picked as the host of the 2016 Summer Olympics.
So TXT Track Time is officially offering our condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Diack. And even though his career ended on such a negative note, we're also going to laud his accomplishments nonetheless, because track and field did indeed flourish under his leadership. But TXT Track Time family, on to more exciting news. And in the voice of Miss Kitty, la 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 la. I hope I'm doing Miss Kitty justice, but if not, Miss Kitty, don't come for me. Elaine Thompson-Herah has launched the Fast Elaine Foundation to target vulnerable teens. Triple Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah on Sunday announced the birth of the Fast Elaine Foundation that will focus on helping vulnerable children from mainly underserved communities, as well as some students from the Christiana High and Manchester High schools, educational institutions she attended during her childhood. The first initiative to be undertaken will be a treat to be held in her home community, Banana Ground, in Manchester on Saturday, December 18th. Helping children from less fortunate circumstances has always been a goal for Thompson-Herah, one of Jamaica's most decorated female Olympians. Elaine is especially passionate about this, said her husband Darren when speaking with Sportsmax TV. Herah also revealed that initially the targeted approach was geared towards helping only teenage girls 13 and older who were at risk of teenage pregnancy, abuse, and who might be suffering from depression and other mental illnesses triggered by the ongoing pandemic. However, after careful thought, they decided to broaden their reach to include at-risk teen boys as well. With this in mind, the Fast Elaine Foundation plans to assist with material things like providing school supplies and introducing a feeding program while critically providing emotional support in the form of counseling for those affected. Much of this will be achieved through partnerships with a number of international foundations. Herah disclosed that they are in discussions with the United Kingdom-based The Prince's Trust and Most Influential People of African Descent, which is based in New York. The Fast Elaine Foundation is also being backed by Thompson-Herah's own sponsors, Nike, National Commercial Bank, and Flow. Thompson-Herah will also contribute to the resources from the proceeds from the meets in which she competes. Herah revealed that the process of selecting people to sit on the foundation's board is ongoing and is expected to be completed before the official launch set for January 2022. We are putting qualified persons in place to ensure the smooth and efficient running of the foundation so that 100 years from now, it will still be helping people, he said.
I am very proud of Elaine Thompson-Herah and her finally taking this step to launch her foundation. However, our Darren Aduagi interview, is he her coach or her PR person? He needs to pick a role and stick to it. But you know what? That's a story for another day. On to more amazing things, Elaine, though. Now the Queen of Sprinting has been nominated for another award. This time, it's the BBC World Sports Star Award for 2021. In total, there are 6 nominees. First up is the undisputed super middleweight champion of all time, Saul Alvarez. Next, we have Rachel Blackmore, an Irish jockey that became the first female rider to win the Grand National. And then the amazing Tom Brady, American football legend who extended his record for Super Bowl wins to 7. Then we have the tennis star Novak Djokovic, the Serb that came close to becoming the first man in 50 years to win all 4 tennis majors in the same year. And last but not least, we have Max Verstappen, who featured in a thrilling duel for the Formula One world title with British driver Lewis Hamilton. Elaine is definitely up against stiff competition this time, but for me, her main rival is the Irish jock Rachel Blackmore. But let's see if our queen can walk away with another title.
TXT Track Time is encouraging all our UK viewers and subscribers to go ahead and visit bbc.co.uk/spotty and place your vote for Elaine Thompson-Herah. Unfortunately, voting is restricted to the UK region only. But for us here at TXT Track Time, this nomination represents a win for Elaine Thompson-Herah. After all, she's keeping some elite company with the major super sports stars of the world. And it should be so, because we're talking about Ambassador Elaine Thompson-Herah, who just this week was officially handed her diplomatic passport. The presentation of Elaine's diplomatic passport was made to the Jamaican sprinter by Prime Minister Andrew Holness during a courtesy call at the office of the Prime Minister. Elaine has displayed the best of Jamaica with extraordinary talent, confidence, and passion, Holness posted on social media. I used this opportunity this morning to congratulate Elaine on being awarded the 2021 World Athletics Female of the Year, wrote Holness. He added, "We're very proud of her achievements and encourage her to continue breaking records and expanding brand Jamaica." In response, the sprinter expressed her gratitude for her passport, which makes it easier for her to travel overseas. "Always have an attitude of gratitude," she said, thanking Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Sports Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange.
TXT Track Time fam, Elaine is making big moves, and I want all our viewers and subscribers who have family members in the UK to call them and tell them to go vote. You hear that, my one sister? As usual, guys, you don't know, blaze up the comment section. And as I always say, go watch another video, cause you know you have the time. I'm your girl T.
And I'm your girl Tam. We'll catch you in another one.